All right, we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Musty Wargamers show. We have season 8 episode, and the 3 Musty Wargamers are here.
One Musty down.
Yes, one Musty is out of commission now, so he is in the dark. He's in the let's say
The Canadian wilds, or I don't know
what. He's in the dark territory.
In the void where there is no internet.
Yes, he's at his cabin. So
allegedly.
Yes. Yeah, I know. He's out gallivanting through the wilderness on his motorcycle in the snow.
I was trying to picture that.
He's got his spikes in his tires and he's going.
Have you ever seen that racing on ice with motorcycles?
Yeah.
Oh, God, that is wild.
It's insane.
Yeah, they used to do that race on the lakes up in Minnesota. Do that.
Oh my God, that's some wild stuff.
And you'd have the show would be on, and they'd be riding the snowmobiles across the water, or that kind of thing, or ice racing on the spike tires.
Yeah, crazy.
You do not want to get run over.
Yeah.
Oh, we just watched that Bond movie, In Majesty's Service.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
In the one of they're ice racing with the cars. I think it was in Austria.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
That was kind of funny. And I'm watching a 69 Cougar XR7 convertible getting destroyed. I'm like, no.
Yeah. Well, usually those are ones that barely run. They throw a motor in it, and it's or it's a mock-up. Painful.
No.
Although they tell about remember the Dukes of Hazzard? They tell about how many Chargers they actually went through back then, because they were like
1,000 or something.
Well, yeah, hundreds and hundreds. I forget.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's painful to know that now. Back then it was like, well, whatever. There's tons of them.
Yeah, there was like
they weren't that old. That's what they were.
You're looking at was it a 68 Charger or 69 Charger? I can't remember.
It was a 69 or 70, I thought, but
so that wasn't even a 10-year-old car, which you got thousands of them just on used car lot for nothing.
Now they're like can't even. They're pretty sought after.
Yeah, Tim, you can think about it. It's like, well, when I was in high school, the student parking, where all the students with their cars, nothing but you had 65 Mustangs all the way up through Chevelles, because those were 10, 15-year-old cars.
Mm-hmm.
I was riding around in a 67 Camaro, so it's like,
I had a 69 Oldsmobile. It's an old 4-door beat up thing, though, so it wasn't even cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, how's everybody been up to, or how you doing?
Good.
Doing pretty good.
Well, that sounds a little sketchy.
Yeah, well, I am a little sketchy.
Well, it's been okay,
I guess Eeyore says.
Yeah, Eeyore. Yeah.
I've been having fun.
Well, I'm pretty jazzed because I'm finally back to having some time to paint again, and this has been super fun. I've been painting like almost every night now for the last, a couple, 2.5, 3 weeks now, since I've kind of wrapped up harvest and the weather's starting to get kind of cold. So my evenings are back, or nights. I guess I paint late usually, but they're mine again.
It says it's 18 degrees Fahrenheit out there, which is...
but there's no wind. That's what I always have to tell my wife. But there's no wind.
It's like the other day when it was 14 degrees and you had 50-mile-an-hour winds. Oh, that was chilly. that was chilly. You're not wrong.
I stepped out of my house this morning and it was like 12 degrees and that wind was blowing and I went, oh my God.
Yeah.
Turn around.
was
It was
whipping
about
last
25
night.
below wind chill, something like that.
Yeah.
It was a wee bit chilly.
A little early for that.
I remember sitting outside and the deer stand in that kind of weather, and you're like, just,
Oh man,
is this deer worth it?
no, we can buy a burger, can't we? Just
Yeah.
let's skip that.
So, what have you been working on, Tim?
Well, right now, I was taking a break from historical stuff and semi-historical stuff.
Oh, what do you got there? Let me
From
Oh,
Song of Ice and Fire.
oh, there you
Oh,
go.
okay.
One of their it's from the Golden Company. They're one of their war elephants and stuff. So
That is sweet.
it's like the last 2 units I've got really to paint of that, and I don't know. I just thought I'd knock them out and get them out of the way.
Yeah.
And I haven't looked at the rules lately, but it used to be for the Golden Company, for every unit you bring, you could bring one of their war elephants. And so I'm finishing up a unit of Golden Company archers to go along with it. I'm waiting for some more basing to come along because I did them in a very flowery sort of spring kind of thing because of they were the Golden Company, kind of they're the ritzy mercenaries and stuff. So I gave them real kind of like flowery bases and
Oh, cool.
stuff like that. So
they're going to be coming across over the pond.
well, they didn't bring the war elephants with them when they came across the pond, but that's a mere technicality when you're talking about a game.
Yeah,
that's true.
Well, I shared that video. Was it yesterday about the horse pocket?
Yeah, that was so funny. Oh my gosh, I laughed out loud.
Yep.
Well, that's where you get your elephant pocket, man. You just reach in. It's like elephant pocket. Yeah, you just reach in your pocket and pull out your elephant, and throw it down.
Well, they're gonna ride up the cliff. We'll take our horses. Sure
No
enough,
way,
they
that's
did.
too steep. You can't even climb that. Well, we'll just ride our horses up there.
That was classic. That was good stuff.
I seen that and I was like, oh my god, that's gaming right there.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
All right, so that's about all you're working on is your golden horde.
Well, no. Next up will be these guys.
Oh, Vikings.
Oh, Victrix, big old bag. How many comes in that bag?
Of Victrix. I told myself I wasn't going to order another rule set. I was just done.
Dang it.
But I did. That new one from Too Fat Lardy's Midgard.
Oh, Midgard.
Oh, yes. I've
so it
seen
can
that.
be kind of. They say you can play it both historically and with fantasy stuff. So I'm kind of interested to see how they work that in. And I thought, well, I've got all these Vikings and stuff and Saxons, and so they've been in the
One thing led to another.
In the pile for a long time. So I figured, well, let's get them out and see what we got.
Oh, good.
That'll be my wintertime project. Because I've got a Dark Age fortress. I got some village components and stuff, so I can play a pretty good size Dark Age game.
No, that's cool.
And I've always liked the Dark Ages anyway. It's kind of like the foundation of all of our fanciful stuff anyway.
Yeah, that's true enough.
Where all the stories come from.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, cool.
Man.
No that's the full extent of your update then?
Let's see. Yeah, I just got that other that third unit of Hypaptus done. So I've finished all those guys up.
Okay.
Man, I'm sorry, guys.
You, Dan?
I've been I don't remember what I did finish. Yeah, I'm not working on terrain anymore, which is
Yeah, because your last show you finished up
yeah. I couldn't
your
remember what.
Stuka.
Yeah, I did that. So now I these 15 mil
ACW
Confederates, ACW Confederates that
Awesome.
I've had
for
for.
Fire and
Oh gosh, when
Fury.
did we order those? I think I ordered them when you ordered them that time. It was a couple years ago now.
Yeah, it's been about 2 years. I think we ordered them
Two
in
plus
July
probably.
of 2 years
Like a
ago.
July sale, wasn't it? Maybe
Yeah,
something like that. 4th of July.
and right now, Old Glory has their 15 mil line. Is they got their Christmas sale going
Yeah,
on?
the 30% off of 100 or more plus any if you've got that membership thing or whatever
Yeah,
on top of it. But so yeah, so because I back when I got them, I ordered that starter army, and then at some point here a couple years ago or a year ago, I think I started cleaning up a regiment. You know, they came in a little bag. It already it's a regiment, 24 guys, including command, and I'd cleaned them up and got them glued on popsicle sticks, and I tried different things. I put some on bottle caps too because I didn't know what would work the best, and primed them, and they've been sitting there since then, and
yeah.
they keep.
Popsicle sticks work really good.
Yeah, that's what the only thing I wasn't sure about. The reason I didn't go, I did 4 strips of popsicle sticks, and then I did like 6 on caps or 8, or I did half and half, I think, because I didn't know if that would bother me if I couldn't get around to the, if the brush couldn't get into the side and stuff the way I wanted. It works great. I mean, mine are the bigger, like tongue depressor, the wider ones.
Yeah,
Slightly.
it's like I usually put mine on these sides.
Yeah, yep, that's exactly what I'm using. Yep, and that actually I put 4 on there, and it works super good. So anyway, so I've been painting on those, and I'm not too far from having the 24 painted, and then I've been debating. I texted you too. I was like, what to use for bases, because
Yeah,
once you kind of pick your path, you stick on it. And I'm hoping that it's not a decision that I regret it like a year from now. Like, I wish I hadn't done that.
I put mine on, so I got cut a bunch of them out because I have this mat board.
Yeah, that I remember that now.
I just cut out long strips of these and just cut them out to shape.
Yeah, well, you can make any size you want.
Yeah, and the nice thing about the mat board is if you ever decide to change your system, you can just peel them off and glue them on a new one.
Yeah, I know that. I forgot because I played that 15 mil fantasy game with you that time. Were they also on that mat board like that? Or
the fantasy ones bases are on metal.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I remembered that. And when I'd ordered, go ahead.
They're on DBA style bases.
Okay, yeah, I remember vaguely how that was. That was a while back. But when I ordered the Old Glory, they also sell their thin metal base packs too. And they're the exact size that they call for regimental Fire and Fury. And I'm like, so I ordered some for the infantry and some for the cannon just to see what I thought. And I like them. I mean, I like we talked. It's great for if you want to storage or transport. I can just put a magnetic sheet like from Litco or wherever you get them from, and the bottom of a Tupperware or whatever, and slap them in there. And then we'll be flopping around. The only question I kind of had was then, when you're picking them up, are you picking them up by the guys? Because I suppose they're all that way, but the Old Glory ones, the rifles and bayonets are a little bendy. So I didn't know if you start crunching on them. And
you tend to realize how delicate they are, and you just
they are, and you just be gentle. Because I also had these. I don't know how thick they are, if they're 2 mil or not, but these are some MDF bases that I'd gotten. These were also about 2.5 years ago. I ordered some from Pendragon, was having a sale, and I got their 10 mil Union just because I didn't know which side I'd like, and if I liked 10 mil better than 15, so I got them, and I ordered a few bases with that. They have their own that are the same size for basically for Fire and Fury, and those they're very thin, but you can pick them up by the base, and I thought, well, maybe that's better. But I think I am going to go with the metal ones. I like the magnetic side of it, and I like the weight that it'll give it, and I like the fact that on these small figures, it's not going to be standing up. Even a 2 mil base is plenty thick looking on a 15 mil figure, I think.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's been my thing. So it'd be kind of fun to. I did order some 2mm tufts to use on my bases along with my normal basing that I do. I've got some 6 mil, and I can stick maybe a few of those on there. But I thought I need something a little bit shorter. So
yeah, it's like I got these
I went with that.
Army Painter tufts.
Yep, I've used those. I've got some.
And I'd say about a third of them are about the right size.
About the right size.
The small ones.
Yeah, I've got one pack up here, and I thought some of them were too, and some of them were too big.
And when you start getting down to about here down, those are perfect. But when you get up to here, those are way too big.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And they even have a pretty large footprint, some of them even, that they just don't look quite right. Yeah,
you're talking about a small looking bush.
Yeah. So by this weekend or early next week, I'll be starting to base them up, the first 24 regiment, and seeing. I want to put 3 to a base. That seems kind of standard and looks good for 15 mil on the Fire and Fury base sizes,
yep.
and kind of go from there. So far, it's been kind of fun. It's a nice change of pace. Confederates are kind of fun because you don't. Well, I suppose Union be easy too because it's pretty much they're all the same. But this is a little interesting because you basically just browns, butternuts, grays. These all have the nice thing too about the Old Glory. In this 24-man regiment, there's not a single miniature that's a duplicate. Not a single sculpt is the same, and so it's it's not going to be mind-numbingly tedious, I don't think. But it's they're nice sculpts and they're so cheap. When you get them on those sales like that, it's like so cheap.
I think I bought the Union Army pack and the Confederate Army pack, and it was maybe $150 altogether.
Yeah, something like that by the time you get your discounts. And
yeah,
I think I figured it out like a 24-man regiment is like almost $8.
Yeah,
it's like
it's the way to go if you're going to play these large scale battles.
Yeah, and I know you have to paint bazillions of them to really get that full effect. But in the Fire and Fury rule book, that very first sort of intro scenario they call it, I think I only need something like, counting your command bases, I only need 40 of them, and I'll have my first 8 done here, just pretty lickety split, and I'm just kind of getting my techniques and stuff down. So
are you going to put 3 or 4 on a base?
I'll put 3. That's what they show in the rule book.
Yeah.
And to me that looks good. 4 will be pretty packed in there. Looks like on that same size base, if I was doing 10 mil, the 4 or 5 on a few looks good. But I think I'm going to do 3. That seems to work well with the figure counts that they sell in their packs, and I think the look is good. And then I'll just vary up how, I don't want them all in a row, so they'll be kind of scattered on each base. And time you throw them together, I think it'll have a nice look.
Yeah, I'm seriously thinking about ordering up another $100 worth of like 2 small units of Confederates and Union to add up a little over 100, just at
bulking up.
Yeah, at
because it was not this summer, but the previous summer, I did order a few more packs from him. It was back when, I don't know if you remember, if you follow him on Facebook or not, the Old Glory. What do they call it now? The company, it's, I got the billing information right. It's Old Glory 15s, but it's, it comes, 19th century miniatures is what it's, that's what it goes through your credit card as. But
yeah.
Anyways, he was having trouble with his Facebook or his web page getting updated. So his web page had been down for like 6 weeks or something like that, and he was like pretty distraught that he couldn't make any online sales without, and he was trying to send out, like, if you'd email him, and he'd send you, like, I'm looking for Civil War. So then he sent me a hand typed out of what everything was for the ACW, so he said he had like no sales. He was getting into, so I put like an order together. I needed some, I wanted to add some cavalry and some limbers and a few things, and So I did get, that's all I've added since the starter army, but it'll all paint up pretty well for me. I'm slow and I'm doing them a little probably more meticulous than I should, but I'm having fun, which is, I guess, all that matters.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing is that with 15s, you don't have to paint the eyes. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm not dotting the I's, but I'm doing some highlight. And it's just too tempting. And these Old Glory sculpts, I mean, I know some people rip on them a little bit. And sometimes they are a little, but the detail is pretty darn good. And they're really deep relief and folds and stuff. So like washes and dry brushing and highlighting is so easy. And it really, they're really a lot of relief in the figures, which makes them fun to paint.
I'm at the point now where I've been started the union. I'm doing the Iron Brigade.
Yeah.
So I have the Iron Brigade going.
Cool.
So I have the uniforms painted. I just have to go in and start doing the flesh tones and the rifles. And I should be about done with the Iron Brigade.
Cool.
So,
well, it's been a fun new scale. Fun to do some historicals again. It's been quite a while because I went through my Bretonian phase and
most of mine. It's like I had Alliance miniatures were my old ACW miniatures. Mel has mostly ACW is his. I think almost all of his Alliance miniatures because John, who's he's on the Musty Wargamers web page there.
Mm-hmm.
He used to own Alliance miniatures.
That's right. I remember you saying that.
So
cool.
He has produced a lot of stuff, and we bought tons of stuff from him.
Yeah. Alliance miniatures. Yep. So that's me.
A ton of Napoleonics and ACW.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Well, I'm going to do my quick update here.
Yeah.
I to say, since the last time we had our show, I did had one game the Saturday after our last show. So I had one BattleTech game. That video went out. When did that video go out? I can't remember. I think it was after Thanksgiving. Whenever that was.
Listen track of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had that. It was supposed to come out the Monday beforehand, but I totally forgot about it. And by the time I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot to put that video together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then Thanksgiving rolled around, and I was like, oh, yeah. Okay. And this week I've been working on this little guy. Let me expand this.
Yeah, blow yourself up.
There we go.
No way. Is that for your daughter or something?
It's just going to be for my son's girlfriend. Is a huge
there you go.
Stitch fan.
That's Lilo and Stitch.
That's
classic.
I printed this out and then I painted it this week.
That's cool. You got the colors right on. That's good.
Yeah, I took a while. It's like I was looking at all the different colors. I've never seen a video, so I had no idea. So I was just looking at pictures on the web, and I was like, okay.
You got to fully experience it.
Cool.
Cool.
If I mentioned it that I haven't watched, they'll probably force me to watch it.
Yeah, I would. It's fun.
But everything here is 3D printed. The
trees.
Yeah, the tree. I had the Kickstarter with my Tomb Kings.
Yeah.
They had palm trees in it. I just happened to be looking through, and I was like, hey, I got palm trees. So I printed off the palm trees.
No way. Cool.
I have those. And I'm just finished printing off today. The last piece is I'm working on my daughter's Christmas gift, which will be for Stargate. It's a 1/10 scale. It's got two Jaffas on it, a male and female, with their staffs.
Okay.
And they're standing in front of a Stargate, and it's from Santic. If I find it, I'll share it behind me. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So I just got done printing it. It's taken me a week to print it.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, there are a lot of parts to it.
Okay.
Now I have that done. I have to clean it all up and then assemble it, and
Okay.
I'll get started on it probably this weekend.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
The thing I'm working on tonight, just for I have 80 Death Guard that I had printed out. Some of these are actually Forge World ones. I have a couple squads from Forge World, like
Okay.
that I picked up, but I have to do some highlights on these, and I got to put washes and stuff on them,
Cool.
and then get started on those. So that's what I'm doing now, is doing highlights, and then I'll put a wash. So I'm doing 20 at a time.
Whew.
But that's the plan for tonight, and then starting tomorrow, I'm going to have to start working on my daughter's project, because that's going to take me a little while.
Hey, Christmas will be here.
Yeah. So we do have some people in the house tonight. We have 7 watching the show. So let's say hi to everybody.
Oh, hey, guys.
Got Clive Dashing. This is how are the Musketeers tonight?
Hey, Clyde.
He was the first one in the house. Is it Heidi-ho? We got Clark in the house. We have
Okay.
Charles Latora.
Hey, Charles.
He's new in the house. So we have a new guest. So it looks real good. The Boar Elephant.
Does that mean we'll have to be on our best behavior because somebody new's here?
Aren't you always on your best behavior, Tim, or not?
Well, it's the only behavior I have. So whether it's my best and my worst, it's what you get.
Well, at least you're authentic.
Yeah. And Clive says, welcome to the Musty Lounge.
The Musty Lounge.
You can smell it.
And so Clark says he's been working on Dystopian War stuff the entire year, the same Empire faction.
Wow, that's some focus that I can appreciate.
Yeah. I've actually done a really good job not adding to it with new purchases this year. Just 2 more boxes. That's the problem with where you really like a game system, you end up start adding to it, and the next thing you know, it's out of hand.
Yeah, we're adding to it faster than what you can actually paint or use. And
that's the problem when you have a 3D printer, is that you can really add to it, and then it gets out of hand.
Yeah, I would guess.
Curtis say, hello, fellows. Hope you're all having an amazing week.
Oh, hey, Curtis.
No Palmer. No, Palmer has been excommunicated from the channel.
Yeah, he got thrown off the island. He's sent to the cabin.
Yeah, he's up at his cabin tonight. He had stuff that had to be done real quick up at the cabin, so he's in the dark territory. They don't have internet there, so
yeah.
And this is Clyde said the Canadian Yeti got Palmer.
Canadian Yeti.
Yeah, he was built for the cold.
But it's supposed to be a humble bumble.
Humble bumble.
Yeah,
Bumble's bound.
He ran into a dentist.
Hermie wants to be a dentist.
Stitch looks most excellent. Thank you. Matthew Merrick. Ahoy, gents. Hello, Matthew. And we got Crown of Command Games in.
Joshua.
Hey, Josh. Good to see you guys.
The old hammer man.
Heating up a pizza and beer is cooling up in the refrigerator.
Oh, cold pizza. Cold pizza. True Musty style.
Howdy ho. Charles. All right, welcome, Charles. Yes, it gets out of hand quickly. Yes, that's the problem, is when you start printing things too quickly, then next thing you know, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm buried.
Yeah.
Got to stop it for a while. It's like, I must stop.
We
have Humble Bumbles and
that's one
Kazakhstan.
I feel like I wouldn't get one of those, is because I'd be printing stuff up more than I could ever paint.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to add to an army. It's a nice addendum stuff. And it's also, when we're going to be talking about this, one of our topics tonight, it's also kind of handy too. So.
Yeah, but you have to have some self-discipline. What?
What is that?
I know, right?
I found that the biggest self-discipline when it comes to printing is running out of resin and not ordering for a while.
Oh.
That really puts the damper on the old production.
See, I'd be torn between like feeling like I need to keep it running all the time to justify my decision and my purchase, and like you said, not printing off all the stuff that you're never going to paint and feeling like, well, that was so wasteful.
Yeah. Tonight I'm going to have a little bit of Glen Moray 12-year-old Scotch.
12-year-old?
Yeah.
Nice. Scotch. Everybody have a good Thanksgiving then? Get family together and
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had a bunch of people over at the house.
cool. That's always fun.
We had family over. We had ham and all the fixings that go with that.
Oh boy.
And I'm not a turkey guy, so
Oh really?
no.
I do love turkey.
But the only time I like turkey is turning it into turkey sandwiches.
Okay. Fair enough.
But yeah, just to sit down and have turkey. You can't have enough cranberry sauce to bury in the turkey and to make it edible.
Huh.
Is my philosophy.
Thank goodness for ham then.
Yeah. Which is all right because all my family loves ham more than turkey. So.
Okay. Well, it all works out. Everybody's happy.
So after we had our turkey dinner, not turkey dinner, but I got turkey in the head.
Ham.
Dinner, we turned around and played board game all day.
What'd you play?
7 Wonders.
Yep. Been there. Cool.
Have you ever played 7 Wonders?
I have, yeah.
Oh, big fan of it.
Yeah,
My
it's
wife
a
and
good
daughter
game.
really like it.
Wow. My wife doesn't like the board game.
Really?
Yeah, seriously.
That's interesting.
All right, I got brothers.
Yeah, that's I got plenty of brothers. But I haven't done board game with my brothers in a long time. If they're going to get together, they'd rather play BattleTech.
Yeah, see, my brothers don't miniature games, so we board game usually.
Which is bring this up here. There we go. All right, so we do have a couple topics for tonight. We can sort of add to the discussion
Okay.
while we're sitting around. Let's see here. Something I want to throw behind me here. Well, our first topic will be about art or posters or however you decorate your gaming artwork for the walls in your gaming area.
Which begs to me the question, did you order some artwork?
Not yet.
What are you eyeballing?
Well, I was looking at getting some Warhammer 30K and maybe some Warhammer fantasy
Oh,
stuff.
straight from Games Workshop, or what are you looking at?
Yeah, the Games Workshop one.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like trying to decide if I wanted to. There's the one called on the Warhammer Horus Heresy. It's called Mortis, which has a bunch of Titans marching forward.
Okay.
And you see this Emperor Titan that's just have its void shields up, and it's just getting blasted, and then everything's bouncing off its void shields.
Cool.
And then it's got a whole it's got a Reaver Titan, let's see, Warlord Titan, 2 Warlord Titans, a couple of Warhound Titans behind it. And then you got Imperial Guard sitting there blasting away at it, going, "Oh my God, we're just gonna die."
How big of a piece of art are we talking here for that? Like a poster size, or are they like half?
Yeah, they range from 400 or 45 centimeter by 30 centimeter all the way up to 90 centimeter.
Okay.
To 60, which is your typical poster size.
Okay.
So you've seen the stuff I got in my room down
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Yep.
So I do have one big one called, from the TV show The Expanse sitting right here. I got a couple posters that I got from the 70s as a kid, which I still have. And I also trying to unplug myself here. Watch where I'm swinging my arms. And right above me here, you can see I got all the military artwork too.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so I got a whole bunch of stuff.
That's
and then
cool.
I got a Wolverine #1, Daredevil, sitting on the walls here, comic books, actual comic books. So.
Okay, that's right. Cool. So is this new released art, or you're just you're just getting tempted?
I'm getting tempted. It's you seen the stuff I shared with you, or did you look at it?
Yeah, I looked at it.
Let me see if I can copy this and see if I can put it in it.
Yeah,
most
they
of
had
this,
some 6th edition fantasy stuff. That's what you'd sent, the Bretonian.
Yeah, they had some of the older
cover.
There's a couple other older covers for the fantasy ones too, in the old world.
I like the artwork from that 5th edition Bretonian book. That'd be cool.
You see, the 5th edition Bretonian book was
that kind of bluish cover with that knight with the red and white and heraldry on the cover. The background's kind of the bluish whitish.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I think the one I sent you was a 6th edition one.
It was 6th edition, yeah.
Yeah.
And for some reason, though, that's what I kind of see, though. I guess I have the T-shirt that has the 5th edition fantasy Bretonian army book on it. I did get that from Games Workshop a few years ago. They had like a really good sale. You get 2, I don't know, some sale if you got 2 of them or something. So I got that one in the cover to the rule book or something like that. I forget. But the artwork would be, even just through the book. Oh my gosh. I love that artwork. Oh man. I looked through that so much when that was the current one. That's what got me sucked in.
I need to pull that. Do I have that one out, or is it in the box? I think all the 4th edition, 5th edition stuff is in my old box.
That should be out front and center. I mean, jeepers, criminy.
Yeah, well, it's just a matter of. Let me pull that up and see. Wrong way to spell. Let's see. Well, first thing that pops up is somebody from the Musty channel. Hmm. Yeah, it's like they got the one poster that is from the 5th edition one.
You mean 6th edition?
Yeah, 6th edition. I guess the 5th edition's got the Warhammer Arnie's, Bretonia. It's got the red winged helmet.
Yeah. I don't know if I can quite reach my army book over here. Well, it's the only other one that's not that red cover with that
Yeah.
darker looking knight on the front.
But the question is,
Yeah.
Yes.
The question still stands.
yes, question still stands. People consider decorating their gaming room with lots of gaming artwork, or would they just leave it barren?
Oh. What do you got on your walls, Tim?
I got maps. I like maps.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
What kind of maps?
Well, I got like a map of the Roman world at the time of just about their greatest expansion, around first, second century AD. Has all of all of the entire Roman Empire, and it's pretty cool. Has all the old names and all the old cities' names and
Oh, that's cool.
stuff. Oh yeah, yeah. And then
I
I
do
have
like maps.
then I have my obligatory map of the old world hanging up. That's what I like.
When's that from? Like from out of a old white dwarf, or what do you mean?
Oh God, it came in a. Oh, I can't remember whether it came in like a box set or you got it. You could order it. I think it was just something you could order online.
Okay. Trying to remember what.
God, it was been so long ago. I can't even remember whether I
found it.
Are we talking?
I ordered it. I
like
know
BC or AD?
Well, I know that I do have a bunch of Lord of the Rings maps and stuff too that I could put up, and I got a large collection of posters from the 70s and 80s that they're fantasy and sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got like for my historical stuff. I got all my like parts of the Bayeux tapestry you can get like in prints.
Yep.
I got a couple of sections of the Bayeux tapestry up, the maps, and then
I saw that in real life 2 summers ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
the real Bayeux tapestry.
Yes, we were in Bayeux.
Oh,
That's
wow.
where it's even where we stayed when we were touring the Normandy beaches and yeah, anyway, that was a wonderful trip.
Oh my goodness, I bet.
Oh yeah, you'd have loved it.
A little bit of history there.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I don't know. I know, Dan, you got mostly books on you got shelving on most of your walls, right?
Yeah, walls are shelving. I'm just looking around. Of course, this has been kind of just my hobby room forever, and it's just a basement room. And I'm an Iowa Hawkeye fan, take it or leave it. But I've been that since I was a kid, and so I've got a lot of Hawkeye stuff up. But I've also got a couple of flags. I've got the Scottish royal flag and the Welsh Welsh flag, and so I like to fly random flags on my flagpole, if I'm being honest. So those are all flags that I flew on my pole at different times.
Do you
I've
ever
had
have anybody ask what the heck they are?
sometimes I've had the Spanish royal flag. Um, just whatever strikes me. I've got the Ukrainian flag flown, different, just whatever.
Hmm.
But anyway, so I've got some of the old flags up, and then got some postcards that I got from when we were in France of the artwork from the World War II Normandy beaches and the Band of Brothers and St. Lo and St. Mary Glees pictures from that. But otherwise, yeah, I've got an old Lord of the Rings movie poster, the Jameson thing that my kids got me, and a beer light that a friend of mine collected beer lights. And when he passed away, his son said, "You got to have one of these." And so it was just kind of a thing from a friend. So that's cool. But yeah. Otherwise, and I do have some posters that I'd love to have framed sometime. I'm a big Flying Frog Productions fan. They're a board game company, very small. It's two brothers.
Yeah.
Up in Oregon or Washington State, and anyway, they like to do fully immersive type board games, but they have posters of some of their stuff from each one of their different game systems, and on some of their Christmas sales, I've ordered a few of those, and I always wanted to get them framed and hung up. I've got a picture of, it's kind of a map. It's like a pencil drawing of Trim Castle in from Ireland, because when we were over there, we toured that, and they had this beautiful, pencil drawing of what it would have looked like when it was, and it's just a black and white type of. So I've got that, just random stuff, I guess, and shelving and stacks of boxes.
Yeah, it's like you can see the boxes shelving from.
Yeah. It's kind of a catch-all. I'm a pack rat, which doesn't help.
Well, you can see behind me. That's like one wall.
Yeah.
Like from there to there. That's all shelving up. Used to be all over here. Now it's over there.
Yeah. Well, and you're lucky because you've got maybe like 3 to 4 times the space I've got in this, at least this one room. So.
Well, my wife has complained many times that I've taken over the basement, and it's like, well, you had your opportunity.
Yeah, well, my wife says that too, but ours is unfinished, so she doesn't like to come down here anyway. So
yeah,
so everybody's happy.
Yeah, the number of times she's like, I come down here and this is just you. I'm like, yes, it is. You had an opportunity to decorate it, but no.
So has she let you come upstairs or not?
Well, now you go upstairs and the walls are covered in my artwork that I've done. So,
well, you have to buy her a house sometime that she can have.
Yeah, it's like upstairs. Most of the walls are nothing but my artwork that I painted myself. So
yeah, when you're
she doesn't never complained about that. It's like, oh yeah, it's like the walls were barren, and it's like, do you mind if I put some of my stuff up on the walls? And I put a couple pieces up, and then a couple more pieces, and then a couple more pieces, and then it's like,
she's too good to you, Rusty.
No. I even asked her which piece she wanted to go up on the wall.
Oh, okay.
So she's like, I like that one.
When did you do them? Are they old things you've done through the years or what?
Oh, yeah. It's like some of them are
ancient,
25, 30 years that I've done, because when I was in the Army, when I first went in the Army, I was a graphics illustrator. So I did.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Before I became a Ford observer.
Okay.
I went to school because I am partially deaf in my left ear.
Okay.
So the only way I could get in the Army was through a waiver. So it's like I became a graphics illustrator because of it. And that was the only position I could get in to with, but once you're in, as Tim can attest to, you can transfer from one branch to the other or position all you want.
Okay. Once you're in, you're in.
You're in the system. They don't care anymore.
Yeah, you're one of us.
Yeah.
You're in, baby.
Yeah, one of us.
So then I became a forward observer.
Okay. I guess I never knew that. I knew you were in the armored.
Yeah. That's why the reason you see so much armored artwork too is that, I was an armored cav.
Yeah.
I was an armor officer.
Okay.
It's like, as an officer, you don't have to hear anything. You just tell people what to do. As the joke goes, you can't tell an officer anything.
Yeah.
No comment. No comment.
You can tell them where to go, but they don't listen.
You tell them where to go. Probably can, but you get in trouble for that, I expect.
They just do it behind your back.
Oh, there you go.
I can tell you a funny story about telling an officer where he needed to go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Remember what Reforger was?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, we ran convoys for Reforger all the time, and we've been taking troops up and down the highways and stuff because, got to have German police, MPs and stuff, blocking off traffic so nobody gets killed, which didn't always work anyway. And so we're out there and we're waiting for this column of tanks. And we're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting. And I get on the radio and I said, "Look, man, they ain't here." He says, "Well, let me look and call around and see if I can't find out where these guys had wandered off to." And we're talking about like a battalion.
Holy crap.
And it's like nobody knew where they were. I knew where they were supposed to be, but they weren't where they were supposed to be. So my buddy and I are sitting there for about 5 or 10 minutes. And all of a sudden, the desk sergeant got on there and started screaming about where they were. And you got to go stop them. You got to go stop. They were heading towards the border.
Oh, no.
Yeah. With East.
East
Germany.
In the Fulda Gap. Yeah. It was like,
God.
boys.
Oops.
So we're in our little 151A1 Jeep, and we're flying by all these tanks on this narrow mountain road. And I finally get up to the front where the commander is, and he's up there doing his best Patton impression. And I'm trying to get him to stop, and he's just, got that, holier than thou fear. And so we finally just pulled the Jeep up and got up far enough and pulled the Jeep up and stopped to where they'd have to run over it. And he stopped. He was madder than hell when he stopped. And I was down there. He wouldn't turn the track off. I'm yelling at him, "Hey, you're going the wrong way." And I mean, they were within like, how like at the border you had like the 2-click zone, the 5-click zone.
Yeah.
You were in the half a click. Well, he had already passed the 1-click zone.
Uh-oh.
Yes. And we finally caught up with him and stopped him. So I had to climb up on the tank and tell him that he was in the wrong place, going the wrong way. And he was like taking it out on me. And it's like, I'm just telling you the bad news, baby. You got to turn these suckers around. He said, "We got to get you going back the other way."
You're about ready to start a war here. Come on.
Yeah, another, I don't know. Let's see, probably about 3/4. Well, what's 3/4 of a click?
Well, see, 1.6 is the mile. So
yeah.
half
So
of
about a
that.
mile.
Yeah.
Let's just say they were like about a mile from starting an international incident.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Nice.
I thought that was hilarious. Like, they're going the wrong way.
Sir.
Yeah. And I
I've
said it
dealt with
with as
those.
much disdain and sarcasm as I could muster.
And you didn't swear, huh? That's pretty good.
No, God, no. No. That was a good troopy.
Yeah, that's good. Probably
That
kept
was
you
a
out of trouble.
good troopy.
Now, I've dealt with on both sides of the aisle where I've had subordinates that were lost. I've had on both, enlisted and officers that were like, "Do you even know what the hell you're doing? Where are you going?"
Do you even know how to read a map?
Yeah.
Wow.
I always, find it funny. It's like I look at all these disgruntled. It's on Facebook. It's channel on Facebook where it's mostly enlisted men that bitch and moan about how officers are stupid and can't read a map. And I was like, actually, I've spent more time in trying to unscrew enlisted guys trying to read a map than I did ever officers. But there was a few that is like, oh my God, have you ever seen anything? You ever been outside of your
Yeah.
area before?
Yeah, that was they were interesting. We had this one, we had he was in what is it called? SP4 or SP1, whichever one was the intelligence part. And this poor guy, he was the quintessential nerd officer. Like he was like a brainiac.
Oh,
And so and he always had his arms full of like charts and maps and stuff like that. And we would make sure we would drive by and give him the best salute possible.
so you drop everything.
So he'd drop everything and return the salute. And it's like, we should really stop messing with this guy because he's a good guy. And but it was so cute to watch him fumble around because it was just so outside of his character. The first couple of times, it's like, oh, yeah, I'm supposed to salute you back.
I got my ass chewed out one time from a.
Oh,
no,
colonel. Not you.
Oh, yeah. I was a butter bar at the time. Just got my bars. And I was on post and had this colonel. He was wearing, the first time I ever seen anybody wearing Gore-Tex. And normally where you see someone's rank is on their collar.
Right.
Or if they're wearing a field jacket, it's on their epaulets on their shoulders, so you know what their rank is. This guy had Gore-Tex on. I'd never seen anybody wearing Gore-Tex before, and so he comes marching up, and I looked at him and was like, "Hello," just nod to him. It's like kind of cordially because he was obviously just walking out of the PX, and I was just walking in the door. And he just like, "Don't you ever salute anybody." He just started chewing my ass out. And I was like, I'm a higher ranking officer than you. He's like, you need to salute me and show me the respect. And I was like, sir, where the hell's your rank? He's like, what? Where is your rank? How the hell am I supposed to know who the hell you are? He's like,
yep.
He's like, oh, yeah, he just put this damn thing on. So he never even had his rank on. And he's just like, oh, I'm sorry. He's like, apologize to me. Oh, like, you're just berating me. And I had to stop him. I'm like, what is your malfunction? How am I supposed to know what rank you are? Because it goes right in the center of your chest.
Army.
Oh, man.
I never had to march. I never had to play any of that shit. They're no more than we started off with a group of 18, got down to as few as 6. So there wasn't a whole lot of marching, saluting, and all that kind of. I wouldn't even know how to act in the real army.
Yeah. Yeah, when it comes to knowing people getting lost, they always say, "Hey, how would you know?" It's like, or if you even knew what you were doing, and it's like, well, for one, I was the land nav instructor, so I sort of know how to read a map.
Yep.
That was something I did when I was enlisted. And I remember the first time we were down at Fort Knox, we were supposed to do night land nav to get from one position to the other. And I looked at the map and I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty easy. And one of the guys that was in NCOs, he was like, I bet nobody can beat me to any of these positions and do this course. And I'm like thinking to myself, of course you could do it, beat anybody, because you're probably the instructor, so you know exactly where every damn position is.
Yep.
In the first place, so that's kind of a
given, yeah.
Yeah, so I took it upon it as a challenge, and he beat me by about 3 or 4 minutes. And then he's like, "There's no way you did that." And it's like, "Well, here's all the points, and here's all of the coordinates to each one of them exactly, because each post has a specific number on it." He double checked, and he's like, "How the heck did you do that?" It's like, "Oh, I used to teach land nav. It's no big deal." He's like,
"Yeah, don't take it personal."
Yeah. I grew up in the North Woods.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Which can come in much more handy than even reading a map.
Yep. I didn't know how to that until when I was in Scouts. Then obviously they taught you land navigation, doing that kind of stuff. But it's like, I enjoyed that kind of stuff, living in the woods.
Like Grizzly Adams.
I never wanted to live there, but I sure as shit wanted to know how to get around.
Yeah. Oh, we probably got a few comments. Oh, we do have a bunch of comments come in. All right. Clark says the biggest self-discipline of 3D printing is paying someone else to 3D print your stuff. I'm paying someone to print a mass, or paying someone to print
a massive unit.
Yeah, that's something I want to get, is a massive map scale Union class dropship. That would be huge.
Cool.
I think I would have fun with that. I do have a small. I got a map scale. I'm on a mech scale dropship instead. That thing would be huge.
Good God, that'd be big.
Yeah. It would fill up the board, that's for sure. Chris says, I'm running out of resin works. Also throwing out prints because you forgot to de-support helps see waste. Yeah. That's one of the problems. I was talking with my brother about it last time I was over at his house. He's like, well, how much does it cost to do all this printing? I was like, well, the cost isn't all that bad. It's the amount of resin that you use, though, on the supports is probably sometimes more than the actual things that you're printing.
Oh, yeah.
You're wasting a lot of resin just on support structure.
Mm.
It's like, wow. Right now I just threw out my garbage can from all the stuff I was printing for my daughter's thing. I filled up this garbage can was full of support works for that.
Oh, Jesus Lord.
And the ice cream bucket you see back there,
Yeah.
almost everything fits in it.
Hmm.
It's like the amount of supports that go into making these things is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Can you reuse that stuff in any way?
Nope.
Wow.
Yeah, you just got to live with it. It just, the first time you did it, and you're like, wow, whoa, look at all the stuff you're throwing out.
That's just what it
Now,
is.
and it's just like, now I don't even think about it. It's just like, oh, well.
Oh,
Yeah.
You all right over there?
yeah. I told you that stuff has been.
I felt my
kicking
house
some butt.
rattle all the way over
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Let's see. My Barron's War order just turned up. Great start to the day. Pizza, wet beer, the Musty show, new toys. Where's Palmer? Palmer is fighting off Yetis, Humble Bumbles in Canada.
I thought he was looking for Santa,
That too.
but yeah, it's in the North Woods somewhere at an undisclosed location with no signal.
Yeah, he had something he had to do up at the cabin that came up, so he was couldn't make it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Barron's War. Those, yeah, I've had those minis in my cart multiple times, and then said, yeah, I don't need another project. I can't.
Who had, was it Firelock Games that has the three? I got a bunch of files. I can't remember if it was Barron's War or Firelock Games, which one it did it, but I got a bunch of files from one of those two that I can print off a cog.
Oh, that'd be Firelock Games then, right?
Yeah, I think so. So
Blood and Plunder or whatever they call it.
Yeah, their version of the. So I'm thinking one of these days I'm going to have to print that just so I have the ship.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That would be cool.
What ripe age are you? Oh yeah, your birthday. You hit what, 67?
Yep.
67.
Well, I'm just a couple weeks from the big 60. So. Oh, Shiny Star. Howdy, Grex. I love your Mercenary Thoughts series. It's a great help in running my 3039 campaign for my local group. Yes. Thank you. I started it off was mostly just to get going on, helping people out with the Succession Wars. How we got started in it. The people kept asking questions about it, and I just started doing a series, really. I do enjoy the series, doing it. Next week's video that comes out will be the Helios. I just did it today.
Helios.
Yeah, it's a mech from the St. Ives pack. Good mech, not bad. Does wonders on the table.
Cool.
Only problem is it needs armor. So welcome to the show.
Yeah, it's nice to see
Always
Star.
we got 2 new people tonight. That's amazing.
This time of year, is when people seem to hunker down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of what part of the world you're in, I guess.
Back going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you're in a different hemisphere, I suppose, maybe. It doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know location where Shining Star was located.
So yeah. Cool. Nice to see a new face.
too many boxes to see the walls. Need to clear some backlog. Yeah, I was out at the Menards today, and I bought myself another tub.
Storage, you mean? Storage
Yeah.
tub?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found that tubs are, my wife's like, how many tubs do you need? And I was like, well,
One more, at least.
one more. There's always one more. Because when I'm done, I need a place to store these 40K, there's 30K miniatures. So I need more tubs.
Yeah, what are you going to do, right? I mean, your hands are tied.
Okay. I have been in the past mostly hex and counter game player. Last 2 years, I've jumped deeply into miniatures, mostly skirmish gaming. Also, 2mm historical, 6mm World War II.
Oh, cool.
Ooh, yay.
That's some new areas I don't know as much about.
Yeah. 15mm fantasy medieval. Now, Dan, you have stuck your toe into the 15mm fantasy
finally.
and historical.
Yeah.
It's like I made a convert. It's like all it has to do is actually get a game in or two of the small stuff, and you realize, what have I been missing here?
Yeah.
There's something about having a large scale game with miniatures all over the table. And you're just like, oh yeah.
Well, I always like the look of it. I guess I started with 28s, or 25s. I guess they actually were at the time, but and it just was what my comfort zone was. And many of the popular common games are in that scale, so just kind of what it was. But watching, especially YouTube through the years, just watching people play smaller scales and the mass effect you can get is just, you can't get that, and even like we've talked before, when we play our AWI games, Rusty, even on a 4x8 table, I mean, geez, you need a bigger table than that to be able to maneuver. By the time you line up 24-man regiments across the board in line formation, they're just end to end. I mean, you can't. It's just it looks cool and it's fun to play, but I wanted something with more maneuver, like your cavalry comes sweeping in, or just and then just the look of it. I mean, that's like looking at the battle from a helicopter on a 15mm or 10 or smaller.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just like that look on those kinds of games. So it's fun to. And after playing that game with you that time, that fantasy game in 15, it was that kind of got me really motivated to go ahead and get trying it.
Yeah, get the old cogwheels moving.
Yep. So I've got some War Master stuff, and I bought War Master stuff back when it came out. I think it was 2000 or so when it came out, or 2001, somewhere right in there. But I've never painted a single one. But I have a huge Bretonnian collection and kind of a decent undead collection that I would get to at some point, because that game you can play with the old rules, of course, too. But got the huge fan rule set, the War Master Revolution, that they've really, I mean, they play tournaments in Europe. It's got a huge following, well supported and always updated, and they've added new armies, and so that's a very viable option as well.
That's something I used to have a War Master Undead.
Oh, army?
Yeah.
Really?
But I'd made the big purge of all my War Master stuff.
Mm. Well, that stuff, if you've got the original stuff, certain armies, excuse me, still bring pretty good money, but they're, with 3D printing, there's some amazing, you get full 3D, either files or pre-printed War Master armies that have the same flavor as the Games Workshop ones. So that really, I think that brought some of the value down. It's just more like if you're a collector now,
Mm-hmm.
So you probably got rid of them at a good time.
Yeah, it's like I was looking through everything and I was like, well, still have a bunch of uh, 15 mil, and I was like, you know, all it's doing was just taking up
Yeah.
space for armies that, I'll probably never play those. I'd rather just keep the 15s.
Yeah. Well, you got to know when to say when. I don't ever seem to know that.
That's a tough thing to know.
Or
Yeah.
hanging on to something 1 second too long and then suddenly you can't sell it anymore.
Yeah.
That's the problem I found with I have a bunch of War Machine stuff, and the game's basically kind of gone. There's nobody playing it anymore.
Oh, I see.
Now I'm just sitting on a bunch of miniatures that is like, how the heck am I ever going to get rid of these things?
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I don't have a ginormous collection of anything. So it doesn't bother me to have stuff. I bought it because I loved it, when I bought it. And I still, sometimes I get away from them for quite a while, but I enjoy having them. And I figure at some point, maybe, if I can be like Tim and get retired someday, then, maybe the income's not quite there the way it was, but I've got the stash of minis. So all I got to do is buy some paints and brushes once in a while, and I can just go to town.
That's the way I look at it.
That's my plan.
That's pretty much like with my fantasy. All my Warhammer Fantasy miniatures, I never got rid of them, and now I'm breaking them out and slowly painting them again.
Yeah, see how cool is that? It's like having a store.
Yeah. Or a museum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's?
But if it gives you joy, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah. Charles says 28 millimeter mainly fantasy with some Napoleonic troops and silver bayonet.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that silver bayonet's kind of getting popular.
Cold steel. Yeah, I played some 28 mil Napoleonics before. It can at Origins, and you're just saying it's like 28 mil. You are covering the entire table.
Yeah, it's just, it looks cool, but unless you can have like a 16-foot table or something. I've seen at these gaming clubs, you watch YouTube videos and they have these humongously long tables, and they're doing like a Civil War battle in 28 or a Napoleonic battle in 28, or even like a Basement 1908 or whatever he is. He does those godly huge games that are just insanely cool.
But I live vicariously through him.
Me too, because that's never going to be a thing for me. I mean, I know my limits.
It's like I do not want to have to go through that and paint all that.
Yeah, he's prolific. He can crank them out. Maybe they're not Golden Demon award winning, but boy, the mass effect you get is amazing.
Yeah,
I've never seen anything like it by one individual. You've seen gaming club pictures, especially in the UK, because they have such cool gaming clubs over there, and they get some amazing looking games and tables.
Displayed are metal posters. They sell a ton of. Displayed are metal posters. They sell a ton of GW artwork.
I've seen they talk about these metal posters, which I never really looked into what that was exactly.
I have some. I got a metal poster with Batman on it.
Okay.
I picked it up years ago. I still haven't put it on the wall. It just sits over here by my TV. Well, I know what they look like.
Well, that's good.
That'd be something to think about. I like most of the Horus Heresy novel art. Yeah, the cover art. Most of the Horus Heresy, that stuff that I just shared, is the Heresy stuff is almost all is cover art from the Horus Heresy book series.
Mm.
And the the Warhammer fantasy ones, the old world, are mostly covers off of the recent codex or army books.
Yeah.
And then they have a bunch of art that comes from the video game, the Space Marine video game.
Oh.
Which I thought this topic would have been right up Palmer's. He loves playing Space Marine, the video game.
Okay.
So that's one of the reasons I had this topic, and then he's out here. So.
And he bailed.
Bum.
Yeah.
We can talk bad about it all night long.
Just when the Yetis are biting, you got to get out there.
The Yetis are biting.
Oh, yeah, they need a dentist. So.
Yeah, he's the man. Uses pharmacy experience to.
There you go.
Poor Palmer. Picking on him when he's not here.
Clark says, my hobby area is a very small corner of my living room, and so is surrounded by university degrees and pictures of my wife. Well, you got to have priorities, you know.
Yeah, you're doing it right.
I do have, let's see, United States Army Armor School diploma. I got my Order of the Spur diploma. I got my discharge from the Army thing sitting here. So, yeah, I got a few things that way. But when it comes to diplomas, now the diplomas themselves are just sitting over here. It's like I got my high school and my college ones that I've never done anything with other than just sit here on the shelf.
I got a visitor.
Your cat. There he is.
A meow meow.
This is
No, Moochin. What's its name?
Mooch.
It actually is Mooch.
Mooch.
He is the famous Mooch of the neighborhood.
Doesn't look like he eats much, huh?
Oh no, he's starved. According to him, he starves to death every day.
Yeah.
You know. You're not right, Mooch.
I haven't eaten anything in 30 minutes. Feed me.
It's like my bowl only has a third of it left.
Have you ever seen that video? What is it? Something cats moaning, whining, and what is it? Shit, I can't think of it. I can't remember. Sorry.
We have these yard sales in our neighborhood, and somebody dumped him out like in May, and he was kind of hanging out at the lady's house up the way, and then he started coming down here, and my girl started feeding him.
No way.
And I remember the first time I walked out there, I saw these little bitty bowls sitting on my deck, and I went, "What's up with these bowls on the deck?" She's been feeding this little guy, and
possibly.
And one day he just jumped up on my lap, and I've never owned a cat. Never owned a cat. Never wanted to own a cat. Never had a cat.
Huh.
Now I got a cat. Now I got a cat.
The cat picked you, so what are you gonna do?
Yeah, more than that. Yeah, I think that's it. He picked us.
Pikachu.
He don't have a cat. He has two humans. So
I will formally adopt my humans to feed me. Slave. Feed me.
Feed me.
He just got into one of my miniature cabinets. He wandered around down there in the bottom where I keep my Song of Ice and Fire stuff. Well, what are you doing in the cabinet? Get out of there.
Oh, man. I see your hate.
It's a big, giant box. That's what he's looking at.
Yeah, well.
I think I'm going to go claim this big box as my home.
Yeah. You will be my new home.
I sort of adopted a cat outside the house, but
Yeah, we have a whole ton of outside farm cats.
yeah.
Well, you'd eat them out there in the country with the farm and everything, but
Yeah, if you've got feedstuffs around and grain and stuff, mice will get out of hand. There's nothing better than a
Mousers.
mouse or cat. Yeah, I like them. I like animals, so I don't have a problem with it.
nah.
Yeah,
They're
we got
fun.
a couple.
Like I said, I never owned a cat before, and now this is my first cat. But I always had dogs, and
Oh,
so it's
sure.
weird because you let a dog out, they're kind of dumbasses anyway, so you got to let them out, kind of keep an eye on them. Hey, get out of there, Mooch. Hey, don't be going in my miniature cabinet.
It's a big box. Why is my slave yelling at me?
He thinks he owns everything. That's my stuff, Mooch.
Nice.
And I have 2 mounted dragon heads on either side of my bar, and you can put smoke or LED lights in their head.
Oh, now we're talking.
There you go.
Why don't we have that?
I don't know. Now it's like I need a couple small, dragon heads now.
I kind of feel like I've been doing it wrong now. Shoot.
I think my wife's going to get mad at me. So
Nah.
if I did that.
Well, it'd be the first time, right?
Oh, yeah.
Sure. What did you do?
Well,
I was bored.
Asking.
It was 3 a.m. I was up and I was bored. I made a bad mistake. Will you forgive me? No. I cook meals. Okay. I'm mostly shelved from floor to ceiling. Yeah, that's
Yeah, me. That's mostly what I am.
I forgot I got all my Osprey books out there too.
Oh, cool.
In my
the guy
hobby.
printing me the drop ship had a further split up with the dome because it wouldn't fit on his printer plate. Yeah, that's something I've seen is like so many of them, they make these things to fit on these MDF style printers, so the filament style. And it's like I got resin. Well, I had this file I got from a guy for putting stuff for our Seven Wonders box because we got all the expansions.
Oh yeah.
So it's like I printed went to go through 3D print all these things so we could make storage in our one box.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like none of this stuff will fit on the damn printer plate. It's like message him, say, I paid for this. Can you split this stuff up so it'll fit on a plate? We asked for my dimensions on my plate, and I gave it to him, and he's like, "Oh, I can make that work." So then he redesigned it and
that's
re-uploaded.
Decent human.
Yeah, nice of him. So.
Yeah, no doubt.
So now I got I 3D printed all the inserts for the Seven Wonders game, so they all fit into one box. All the little chits.
Oh man, yeah, that's quite it. That's handy.
Yeah.
Well done.
And my wife and daughter sat around for hours just trying to figure out how to make it set up, and I was like, well, it's supposed to go in one certain way.
Yeah.
I don't know if the link works. Yeah, you basically have to copy and paste it and put it into your, or just type in Warhammer art for the website in YouTube chat. Yeah. I just finished making some terrain tiles for my 6mm armor. Only 25 pieces so far, 4x4 each, enough to make a small, decent fight refresh the rules if it's allowed. Oh, okay.
What game? Did I miss it earlier? Did he say?
I don't.
Or rule set? I mean.
Yeah, I don't think you mentioned what rule set.
Yeah.
What rule set are you using for your 6 mil World War II? A lot of times we would just use like micro armor rules or a few other different ones out there. I played a truffle of different ones. I do have some, mostly modern micro armor.
Okay.
You know, we used to play a lot of Challenger 2, that kind of stuff.
So are those actual micro armor models? Because isn't that a company too that does like that 6 mil vehicles and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've seen
a
some
whole bunch of British micro armor.
They, at least the ones that I've never seen them in real life, but people somehow I've seen got in the weeds and saw some videos of people posting about it. My gosh, are they detailed?
Yeah,
they are.
Holy buckets! I was like, they'd almost paint themselves.
Yeah, a lot of times all you have to do is just put a coat of paint on them, then dry brush over top of it.
Yeah, dry brush or wash and dry brush or
whatever. Wash and
but
dry brush, and you got tons
so
of detail.
much detail there. I was like, that's incredible.
Man, I hear a video playing something.
I do too. Or a voice or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
Like, where's that coming from?
Oh, I know what it is.
It's you.
On my laptop, on my tablet where I got my camera set up.
Yeah.
I had the sound turned off of the football game tonight, and I was watching the football game while we were.
Oh.
And so they're talking, and I can just faintly hear them, and so that's what that is.
Can I ask what the score is?
Detroit won 34-31.
Oh, sweet. I was going for Detroit.
Bummer. I was hoping
field goal.
I was hoping that the Packers would win it, and I'm a Vikings fan, so.
Oh yeah, you need that.
Yeah, I need that come through.
Well, the Vikings are doing pretty good this year.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they are.
They're causing me stress.
Causing you stress.
It's like, let's wait for the last second to win this game, or overtime, or it's like we're gonna lose to a team you're not supposed to lose to. Oh my God. Like, no.
Such are sports.
Yeah. I use basically a little bit of my tub. And I got this much done. Did 20 of these guys, got their wash on them.
Okay. That's progress.
Yeah. All right, so he says Armor and Infantry War Game Research, WGR.
Armor and Infantry War Game Research. Okay. Cool. I don't know that one. Which is not a surprise, you know.
There's a lot of stuff for World War II out there.
I know. That's the thing.
We'll keep you busy.
What was our other topic there, Rusty?
Oh yeah. That's like totally forgot about it. The other topic is the cost of starting a new game system.
Well, Tim's starting one.
Well, so are you.
Yeah. All I had to do was watch one video on it, and I thought, ooh, I got to get those.
Yeah.
So I want to see how that does.
Well,
Because I tell you what, it's there for a while I was collecting about every rule set I could get my hands on.
yeah,
Just because I like reading them.
Yeah,
I'm
same.
the same way. It's easier just to buy a rule book than it is to start an army.
Yeah.
Takes me a bit to commit, obviously.
Well, once you get into the commitment portion of it, it's not that bad.
No, true enough. That was one of the things. Go ahead.
I like getting them just to see how people think, what they tend to think is important, what they want to focus on,
Or how they want to present that.
Yes, how they want to take the same thing that we all do, and they want to.
Yes, how are they trying to do it differently, or try to do it, more fun or quicker, more realistic, or more, whatever. And yeah, and I love the rule books that are high quality, like they're just like almost eye candy to flip through them. I enjoy looking at that too, and just I get terrain ideas, I get painting ideas. I mean, I've got right here I'm using the resource for painting my army quite a bit. Is just the Black Powder Glory Hallelujah book. It is just, I mean, it's just a wonderful resource and a beautiful book, even if you never played Black Powder ever,
Yep.
So that's fun.
Yes, it is. I agree. But yeah, like, I saw that video that Dom did on, boots on the table.
Yeah.
Yep.
He did a Midgard thing, and I'm kind of very, very intrigued about it. And it's from Too Fat Lardy, so
yeah,
pretty good.
Unfortunately, it was kind of coming out. They were doing videos, I think, kind of through the fall and stuff, late summer, fall, and that was kind of when I got busy. But I know I've heard the name, and I know it's some sort of a skirmish game, right?
No,
medieval.
No. Well, it can be. It's a Dark Age.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm a little off.
Yeah, Dark Age, and it's supposed to be big battle, and
it is big battle. What scales it's supposed to, I mean, probably be anything, right? But what are they trying to?
Well, I don't know. I want to get the book before I start saying.
Oh, I thought you had it. Okay.
No, I just ordered it.
Oh, my bad.
I was going to wait till after Christmas, because don't want to just start having a whole bunch, and I had to pull the trigger.
Fair enough.
Now?
Yeah, did you hear Mooch?
Yeah, I can hear.
What's up, Mooch? I think he wants to go out. I don't know why he wants to go out, but it's cold as hell outside.
Got to get some fresh meat.
Yeah. He goes out there and gets on my big patio out there, and he patrols around his yard and sits there up on the deck perusing his domain.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take a minute here. I'm gonna go throw him out and
get her done.
I will be back.
We'll be here.
I will be back in a second.
What was the Too Fat Lardy's game system called?
Midgard.
Midgard.
Oh, okay.
Or Midgard, or something like that. Well, that was the thing, like you talking about the cost of starting a new game system. That's one of the things that for years held me back from doing a smaller scale was the terrain issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because sometimes there's not much of a.
Yeah, I mean, a tree's a tree, stone wall's a stone wall, hills, and so a lot of the stuff in your 28 collection can, kind of go here or there. Or
buildings,
whatever.
On the other hand.
And buildings to an extent, it can be kind of, especially if you're in Europe, if it's a 200-year-old building, it still could be applicable, or even an old church, that could be more, 1,000 years old or whatever or more. So you've got a little wiggle room there. But of course, when you start a new scale, then
it throws that all out the window.
There you are. Yeah, you're kind of, and for me, it's obviously miniature gaming is a lot of it is the visual. So it was kind of, I had to think long and hard about that. But I said it was time to quit thinking about it, just do it, and then see where it leads. If I don't have to have an overly detailed table for a Civil War battlefield, some hills and some trees and some fences and maybe some stone walls or something. You don't have to get a few roads. It doesn't have to be totally complex. And maybe I don't get that far, but you don't try it out, you don't know what you're going to think.
That's one thing I want to get though, is find some, might have to cost me a little bit of money to get some 15 mil scale buildings, but I might be able to, if I have the
right, print some.
Yeah, I can print them. I can scale buildings down or up to some extent, so I can get like say 28 mil buildings and scale them down by half.
Sure.
But it's harder to scale stuff up.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
The details disappear.
Yeah, that's what I would say. I would guess. One of the things I was going to say about the 15 that also kind of made me think, because you go back and forth and all that. I was thinking like buildings and even pre-made, some of the pre-made scenery, because it is so small. It isn't, just even looking online, you can find, some of them even like there's companies that do resin buildings that are even the certain historic buildings and stuff. And I mean, it's cheap enough. I mean, a building's like $10 or something, and it's.
I have a high
quality.
It's like my big problem I've always had is if I'm spending money on a system, I always go after the miniatures.
Yeah.
And I fail to buy the terrain to go with it. That's been a problem I've had since the get-go. Which I've started here recently is I've been, the last few years, been adding to my terrain.
Kind of fleshing it out.
Yeah, I need to flesh it out more. Because it was easy. Most of the games I've ever played was, okay, we're playing with hills. We got woods, trees and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I can live with that. But I wanted more buildings to my... After playing on your table, it's like, well, I feel I'm severely lacking. Tabletop. I got tabletop envy.
Well, but part of the problem with me is, see, you get a lot more ground covered than I do, though. So it has trade-offs. Before I even started playing any of my different games, I had to have the full decked out table, and so any of these projects I do are like years in the making. And I mean, that's what I like to do, but at the same time, then there's tons of things that I'm not doing because to me it has to be like full on or not at all. Well,
yeah,
there's got to be something in between that.
Yeah, so when you think about the cost of getting into a system, always the first thing I always do is I always look at get the rule book.
Oh, sure.
And that's the cheapest aspect of everything, is go that route. And it's like, okay, I can think about maybe, do I like how the rules read? If I read the rules, if they speak to me, maybe I'll consider them.
Yeah.
And then trying to convince other people they want to play that game.
That's the trick. And so for years, for me, it was always, well, I'm going to have to paint up both sides. And because there's people that'll, like I said, my brothers or whatever, I've got people that would play, but none of them are going to paint anything. So
yeah,
it wasn't until I met you and Mark where I could actually just paint one half and they're painting the other half, and we're good to go.
Yeah, I've always had the problem for years where, I would buy both halves, paint up everything, and say, "Oh yeah, okay, let's go play," and they say, "I'm not interested in playing that."
Oh yeah, I never had that problem.
After saying that they wanted to try it,
and they didn't even have to paint it, and they still didn't want to play it.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Oh wow.
It's like,
That's-
thanks a hell of a lot, you know.
That's painful.
But you know, I had something. I turn around and I didn't have a problem selling it. You know, it's like
Yeah.
typically.
That for me, because for me, it's as much the journey as the destination. I enjoy, doing the research and well, first just even deciding a time period I want to do and a game system and a scale, not even just scale miniatures, but just are we talking World War II like platoon size, or are we talking battalion size or whatever? And then figuring out what kind of style of terrain I want to go with, and the whole process is what I enjoy, and I guess I'd never be devastated if I didn't even get a game played. That has never really been, to me, that's just kind of the frosting on the cake. Finally, it's like, cool, now I get to play with the toys, but not that I couldn't do a solo game anyway, so it's not.
Yeah.
Never
there is
bothered
that.
me too much.
Yeah, sometimes though, when you got somebody that says they wanted to play it, and then
Yeah,
you
that's
go,
motivational though.
yeah, it's like, oh yeah, okay, I'm motivated. Don't pick
Well, that was
everything up.
helpful for me to get my AWI stuff going, was because we were gonna, when we finally got those first few games in, it gave me a real reason to, because that's a bit of a daunting task, painting up
Oh yeah, it
those
was.
regiments. That took some commitment.
And we're just lucky that American War and Independence, you didn't need a lot of miniatures.
Yes, well, that's why I always knew. I was always really impressed with the Napoleonic tables, people in the armies, and von Ketteringham, and all those, and Leon.
Oh yeah, Leon.
Yeah, Leon. Yeah.
Yep.
And then there's that other one that he's Scottish, right? He starts with an L.
Liberator 240.
Liberator. Thank you.
Yes.
I love watching those channels, and they, but I'm also knowing that I don't know if I have quite the passion to really see it through to that point.
Yeah, that
I mean,
Napoleonic stuff is almost frightening to me.
Yes, it is daunting.
It is a daunting task when you look at. There's no way I'd ever do Napoleonics in 28.
Yeah, that's it. I have so much respect for people that can do that to the size of armies they get, and it's usually over years. I mean, 10 years. Some of them, well, it's longer, but I mean, I've been following some of these channels 8 or 10 years, and they it's not the only thing they paint, but they're every so often they're cranking out another unit of chasseurs, something.
Yeah.
I don't even know what they're doing, but it's amazing.
Exactly. It's like I look at the costs. I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh
It's
God.
like, how much money? I paint. When you talk about having a completed army, I have a Warhammer 30K. I have a completed Mechanicus army.
Okay.
And I think maybe $2,000 into it so far.
Okay.
I'd have to say, with all the stuff I put, because that entire army was resin from Forge World, and that's expensive stuff.
Yeah.
And it took me about 5 years to build it up, and then now that they're starting to come everything out in plastic, I'm like, I just spent $150. Not 150, it was 135. I bought that box set. I think I shared it with you guys.
Yep.
And it's all plastics. And it's like I spent, it was maybe $200 just on one resin model that's now plastic in that box set.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, well, I have them, but all it did was drive the price down of the Forge World stuff. Not that I would ever get rid of them, because that's the one army I really enjoy.
Yeah.
It's like a labor of love, and now
Yeah. So
I
that's
can
not
still
the
play it.
total. Yeah. Right.
I was so happy when they came out with the Horus Heresy rule set. And I was like, yay! It's not dead.
It's not dead yet.
But yeah, you think about it. I'm painting this army now of this Death Guard, and I printed this army, and I might have $40 resin into it.
Oh wow. Yeah, quite a difference, huh?
Yeah. But I have 200, 100. I got 100 of these guys printed out. If I bought these things from Forge World, it'd be a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when we think about, I think I spent $100 on my Queen's Rangers, my AWI Queen's Rangers I got from Perry.
Yeah. I got mine from Brigade Games, my militia, mounted militia. But you're right. I mean, it's spendy.
They're excellent models.
Yeah.
I think it's what you look at them. It's like Perry's are, I say, the equivalent of, like, you look at Games Workshop for historicals. But,
yeah. Perry's is, they definitely set the bar.
really,
and gosh, it's hard to believe the two of those guys literally like sculpted all that. I mean,
yeah.
Holy moly.
Well, they got started in that over at Games Workshop, so.
Yeah, but I mean, that's, man, wouldn't you burn out? I know they don't run out of subject matter, because there's always people wanting to know if they're going to release, this particular unit or nationality or whatever. It's amazing.
I just wonder is it gotten easier? Have they moved over to doing stuff on computer to do it now, or if they still do it by hand?
They still do it by hand. I've watched a couple of interviews over the last year, and they still do it the old way. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, the Easy 8 Enterprise, those guys did the World War II 28s.
Oh, sure.
Got a bunch of their models for my Russians. Most of my Russian army that you've seen on the table is from Easy 8.
Yeah, I remember that. It's fun to see some different sculpts, because you're used to anything you see nowadays. It's like, oh, I know exactly what manufacturer that is.
Yeah. So those are all hand sculpted by the guys, from this. And he never sculpted anything in his life. And he's like, I wonder if I can do this. And he started it. And he's like, just figured out how to do it. And he was telling me how to do it. And I tried my hand at, doing some of that stuff. And he said, basically, you just set up an armature of the model that you want to do, take some green stuff, and just slowly add to it.
I've seen there's places, is it Reaper or somewhere, sells armatures. Just standard armature, and then you could, obviously you can't make any pose you want from that, but it'd be a good place to kind of, get some techniques figured out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool. Those people got talent, and somehow they can get their portions right. That's what's amazing to me. Like, maybe I could do a part of the body, but then all of a sudden it's like, well, those arms are way either, too long, too thin, the elbow's in the wrong spot. I mean, they just got knacks for that stuff, and just over and over again, and get the wrinkles in the right place on the clothing. And that's just having a massive understanding of all that.
Mine would probably come out remember that picture I shared about the AI picture?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Got the hands, and they got feet for hands.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be something I end up doing. Like, oh, it's all messed up.
Oh, I know.
What am I doing wrong?
It's all wrong.
But I'm just thinking, when I thought of the topic was getting started on a new army. It's like AWI.
Mm-hmm.
And for $200, you can basically, pretty much, I would say, like from Old Glory, for $200, you could be able to have almost everything you need, I think.
Yeah, you mean in 15 mil?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, and I guess that was the other thing that was tempting here. I mean, for 100 and even with the extra packs I bought, I might have $150 in these miniatures, and probably not that much actually, but that's what the base is too, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's enough. I mean, yeah, you can always, you're never done. I understand all that, but it's a playable force to get some games in and try some things, and so it's a little more tempting. I just knew if I was going to do 28 millimeter for my AWI, there was no way I was going to do a 28 millimeter American Civil War, and that I was debating between the two when I jumped into AWI. And I guess part of the reason was I remember thinking it was Mark and I were at that time we're trying to decide what we were going to do, and we were thinking about Union and Confederate, and we're like, well, man, 28 millimeter for the Union guy, that's going to be like, I don't know. I mean, I know they're not all exactly the same, but it's going to be kind of boring. We were thinking, there's no difference. Like AWI is so fun. Even the British. I mean, you got your different facings and your different hats and I mean, there's and when you get to the Continentals, it's every unit is whatever, and
yeah.
And so that's and all the different flags and all that makes it fun. But anyway, so we just kind of almost flipped a coin to pick it, but then the other was going to have to be a smaller scale if I did it. How about Tim? You were looking at doing Civil War, right?
Yeah.
You walked away from that a little bit, or
well,
still thinking?
I don't know. I kind of like the English Civil War.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Give you that.
That's that's kind of like where I kind of end my historical journey.
Fair enough.
I don't go up much further than that. I thought about doing the 7 Years' War.
Oh,
but haven't quite pulled the trigger on that yet either.
I remember you talking about that. Yeah, that's another rabbit hole right there.
Yeah, that could be a devastating rabbit hole.
Yeah, we had a guy that was in our club that had 7 Years' War 28s. He had a ton of them, and he probably had 1,000 or more.
Oh man, holy moly!
Oh yeah,
cool.
But it was a passion that he had for them. I was like, more passionate than I ever could be. I enjoyed playing with them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we got Charles made a comment here. Let's see. My largest force is 200 figures. Orcs. Their history is a continuation of where I was trying to go in D&D last century, about 40 years ago. Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Now we did when we played D&D back in the day. Would take tried to make actual the battle system.
Yeah, I had that battle system at one point, and Palmer was collecting stuff to do that.
Yeah,
the actual figures he was using.
We used a lot of them to play our games where we had our characters were like the generals and stuff.
You actually played that rule set? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well.
Things can get out of hand sometimes, though.
Yeah.
Yes, they can. Yes, they can.
Wow, it's 11 o'clock already.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Didn't seem that late.
Yeah, time flew.
Yeah, I'm having a good time painting. So that's been.
So how late do you stay up painting now?
Oh, I usually try to. I still try to be in bed by 11:30 at the latest.
All right.
Normally.
And I was painting last night, working on Stitch here, and I was in the zone. And I looked, it's like stretch. I was like, oh, I think I better go to the bathroom. And looked at the clock, and it was 3:30.
Oh,
I was like,
yeah.
ooh, oh wow! I just spent 3 hours painting. Like,
yeah. I still have to be up at 6 in the morning, so I
chores.
still got work. Yeah. So, but you gotta. I always. My wife says, "Well, you work hard and you play hard." So.
I burned the candle by throwing it completely in the fire.
Yeah.
I don't burn both ends.
No regrets. We just get after it.
Just throw it all in there. Get her done.
Throw it all in there.
Big old flame.
When you're having fun, you got to go when you got some time before something else comes up. Drags you away.
You never know. Tomorrow you may not ever get up again.
Exactly. Just live every day like it's your last. So.
Exactly.
Trying to.
Oh boy, I don't know about that.
It gets harder as you get older.
Oh, I don't know. For me, it gets a little bit easier because I used to always be like, well, I can do that tomorrow, or I'll do that someday. And I'm starting to realize there's not, eventually there's no more some days. So you better get after it. I've always put stuff off till later because I'm always either working or we're doing the right thing and you're being smart and like, okay, but now at some point it has to be that someday you talked about.
Yep.
Gotta start doing a few of the things at least. You don't do them all, but get a few of them.
Yeah, lately my thing is slowing me down. It's my back.
Yeah, I was wondering, you hadn't said anything about it, so I thought maybe you were kind of turning the corner on that.
Well, it's a day-to-day thing.
So does the surgery work, or is it?
Well,
just
it fixed
it can do it.
The surgery fixed the broken bones and everything that can.
Yeah.
My L5 was in 3 pieces, so they put that back together. So.
Well done.
Yeah, so that's the good thing. So all the pain.
That wasn't your only problem, is what you're saying.
Yeah. So, but I'm also got problems with, they fillet you like a, fish,
Yeah.
cut you wide open and take you apart and put you back together. So all my soft tissues are healing still.
Yeah, and you don't heal like you did when you were 27 either anymore.
No.
Unfortunately.
One day I'd be feeling good. You're like, all right, I'm gonna get a little active and start
and then you
doing
get a little
things.
too crazy, yeah.
Next thing you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna die.
I'm gonna die. Yeah. And my dad's 87 and he just got a knee replaced and he's super active and that sure slowed him down.
Yeah. You don't realize how much just something small is going to slow you down. And my problem is that your back is related to everything
you do. Yes.
Tim, it's like.
Oh, God, yeah.
You'll pick up something in your lower back. It says, hello, you forgot about me? No, you didn't. No, you haven't.
Yeah, or you're just even standing or you bend over to put your shoes on or any stupid. I've just got a bulging disc problem. Isn't really my only thing, so it's not so bad. But boy, sometimes it is.
Yeah, eventually they will have to do something about that.
Yeah, we'll just pretend that's not happening for now.
Well, just the other day, part of my feed, it's like 14 years ago, had my first MRI. I think it was Monday or Tuesday. I had my first MRI, and they realized back then it's like, oh, your back isn't busted. So, and all they did was just send me to the pain specialist to get shots to take care of the pain.
Yeah, well, until they could cut you open, that's probably all they can do, huh?
Yeah. Oh, that's the only solution they had was just shoot painkiller into him.
That probably worked for a while, huh?
Yeah.
No,
What the doctor said was, it's like, well, if you can handle the pain, you can.
As long as you can handle it, you keep handling it.
Yeah. It's when you can't handle it anymore.
And that's when we do it finally. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my back decided that for me was, we're going to fall completely apart and put you down.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were in rough shape there for a while there, Rusty.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you were too, Tim, struggling away.
Yeah, I'm still struggling a little bit with it. Yeah.
Did you ever get back golfing again before winter got here, or?
No.
No,
it was just too bad. And I didn't, because you have so much torque.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah.
I didn't want to take the risk.
Yeah.
Of doing anything else, so I've just kind of gone through some therapy, and it's better, but it's not where it was.
So, are they thinking just time and physical therapy, or or are you gonna have to?
Yeah, we're still doing physical therapy stuff, but I'm not sure how long it's gonna work.
Yeah.
Have they done injection shots or anything yet?
No.
That's your next step.
Well,
like cortisone shots or something?
Yeah, it's a cocktail steroidal shot that they inject directly into your spinal area or your muscle group, into your nerves, and its whole job is to get the inflammation down.
Okay.
And if you can get the inflammation down, then you can start handling things again.
Well, I hope they know what they're doing.
Well, they do. Like the swelling is gone, but I've got it's compressed in my lower back between a couple of discs. You should have I don't know, that much space. Well, I got about that much space.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not painful all the time. It just doesn't feel right. It feels it feels like I don't want to mess with it.
Yeah.
Now don't mess with it, and it'll be all right.
Right.
But I'm not sure. We'll see. But
because eventually something's got to be done.
Yeah, eventually. I'm not looking forward to it, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
In your case, since you have a compressed, they'll have to put a shim in there to lift you back up, get the that's what they did. I got a bunch of shims put in my spine too. It was compressed like you have, and I gained an inch of height back.
That's nice.
Oh, wow.
So, you're talking about your disc being compressed. They put the shims in there to relieve the stress on your disc.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
And so
that doesn't sound like fun at all.
I was going to say, that sounds pretty cool. Just we'll get that done.
Actually, it's like part of the problem that I'm having right now is the soft tissue issue. Is that, they fillet you open, so all that muscles and stuff have to heal back up. And that's my biggest problem right now is that I'll take a move and twist or something, and I go,
Yeah.
it's you ever had pulled a muscle? That's how it feels.
Yeah.
But it's going up and down the side of your spine.
That's not so awesome.
Like the other day, I was like you said, bending over to tie your shoes, and I almost felt my back go tunk. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. God. And then you wonder how long you're going to be. If that's just a quick twinge thing, or are you in bad shape now for a little bit?
Yeah. You're like, oh, please just be a quick thing. There's been a couple times that you felt it move and a thunking sound and something adjusted, and you're like, oh, wait a minute. Actually, I feel better. Like, all right.
Yeah.
That was a good move.
That's what I had a neighbor. He was having back trouble, and he's out checking his cows when they're having calves, and the one cow kind of came up and was like going to butt him, and kind of got into his one shoulder because he turned to the side.
Yeah.
And he said, and after he got back up, he's like, oh my God. He said, my back felt perfect after that. Got trampled by a cow almost, but it fixed his back.
So he went to the cow
doctor. Yeah. The chiropractor.
The chiropractor.
No extra charge. Yep. So yeah, you got lucky on that. You didn't get killed. That was the main thing. But
yeah, when I was a kid, my brother chased me around the upper barn with in the loft with the hay fork, and he literally was trying to spear me with the damn thing.
You probably had it coming. Am I wrong or not?
Well, what older brothers do to their younger brothers. It's just,
I don't know. We never really fought like brothers supposedly fight, so I don't know.
So I trying to get, and I slipped on the hay, and I went right down the chute, landed on my back, and I was like rolled over, and I landed on something, and it basically popped one of my ribs out. And I was like, oh, knocked the air out of me. I was trying to breathe, and then my brother threw the hay fork down and speared me like a fish right in my back.
I don't know why your back is messed up. That's so weird.
Yeah, I don't know why either, but that was in my middle of my back.
Can't pick your brothers, can you?
No. Ever since then, I've had problems with my back. It's like, one of the things I go to the chiropractor for is like he'll get there and you feel like, oh, your back is out right there, and he goes, and you hear this loud crack.
Oh, I know. God dang, that always makes me nervous when they do that.
And it's like, it works. I love it. It feels good.
Man.
Make the is that my phone? It just made noise.
Somebody's.
Was it mine?
Yeah, not mine either. But
it's my son. Oh, he picked up a book, a Horror's Heresy book.
No way.
Yeah, another one. Yeah, there's a new into the series is out, so he's picking up some more.
I've never read any of the GW books ever.
I think there's like 50 of the Horror's Heresy books.
Be a bad person, maybe, but
I've read the fantasy ones. I've read the all the Origin fantasy ones.
Well, the thing I didn't like it anyway. Yeah, it doesn't matter, I guess. But
I still got him sitting over there. Yeah, I got Nagash, Sigmar, and my son has the elf one upstairs reading it. Right
okay. Now. Well, shoot. I think I am about ready to shut her down. I got a base coat of my last 4 guys and a wash on my other 4. So tomorrow I can wash the ones and highlight the other ones, and I'll have this regiment done. Yeah. No time at all. That's exciting.
Get wash on this last guy I'm working on here. And I'll have 40 guys with washes on them tonight.
Whew. Making progress. That's good.
Yeah, this is the easy part.
I know, but it's progress. Any way you look at it, right? You know, got to do
Yeah,
all the
once
stuff.
I go back over them and dry brush some white over top of them, man, they'll look really sweet.
You got any recommendations on 15mm flags?
I just print them.
Yeah, I wondered about that.
It's a lot. You can buy them, but I'm cheap ass. So
Yeah, see, I always go.
No,
No, I know I can't. That doesn't seem right.
that doesn't seem right.
Well, I'm torn between just like, yeah, they're so small and whatever, especially the Confederates. It's just mostly the battle flag anyway. But
yeah,
then another part of me says, well, I'm spending this time on them. And I don't paint like 4 armies a year or anything. So maybe I want to buy some nice ones and make them as nice as I can. I don't know.
Do you want to do like specific unit flags and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, well, I got to do a little more looking, but for a large part of the war, I'm not. This is kind of my uniforms can be all kind of mixed and modge podged, and they've got all kinds of clothing. That's the way these are sculpted. So a lot of times by that point of the war, my understanding is that they mostly just carried the battle flag, the Confederate flag, and rarely
there's state flag and battle flag.
But it says most of the reading I've done and the pictures I've seen, there's mostly just the battle flag.
Yeah.
By that point in the war, but maybe some of them always carry. I'm not an expert at all, and that's why I got in trouble when I did my AWI army, because I was posting on some of those different sites. I think I've talked about that before. And there's a couple of guys that always had to give me crap about the uniform or the flag or the something, and which is fine. But I'm going to do these a little the same way too, just kind of the look that I like. I'm not doing it for a certain battle in certain
Right.
So, and for most, it looks like the Old Glory, the command sets that they give you has just one standard bearer. So, and that's why I've seen a lot of people paint them. But anyway, so I was just going to do some looking around, if they were, I'm thinking of 15 mil, even if you purchased them, they're probably like super cheap for a sheet of them or something. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I imagine.
I'll have to figure it out. I didn't know if you guys had got anybody you'd recommend.
There's gotta be. Those same guys at Grognard that always pick on you.
Yeah, and it's fine. I don't mind learning stuff, but at the same, the one that always still gripes me to this day is a guy got all on me about using the Betsy Ross flag, and I'm like, I know, but I said I like it, and it's cool, and as a kid, I always thought it was cool, and I put it in my 1st Maryland Regiment because that's what and he's like, well, that's how people, and then they think, and I know, okay, well, I don't think anybody's going to have their view of their American Revolution based on figures that I painted. I don't think I'm like they're carrying a Nazi flag or something that's way off.
Yeah,
well, that would be a funny thing to do, though, just to do something outrageous.
Yeah. Well, I was working on a Soviet World War II bolt action force, and it wasn't no more than gotten a good start on it, and they invaded Ukraine. I was like, gosh, dang it. And so then I said mine were Ukrainians. And so my commander is he's holding a standard bearer, and he's a standard bearer, and he's holding the Ukrainian flag on his thing.
Love it.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I was like, yeah, mine aren't Russians. These are Ukrainian Soviets.
Well, a lot of them were.
Call those the reluctant Soviets.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the only reason we're in the Soviet army is because you drafted us and said we had to fight or get shot. Okay.
Yeah. Either that or because the Germans were overrunning our homeland or our homes and towns, so we pushed them out eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The sad thing about that was that the Ukrainians thought the the Nazis were liberators at first.
First, exactly.
Yeah.
It's
I
Yeah,
mean,
there
it's
were
like-
Ukrainian units in the Russian, or not the Russian, but the German army.
yeah.
But,
Well, you can't pick where you're born, I guess.
no. You can pick who you didn't like, though.
Yeah, well, eventually they figured that out. It's just who do you like less, I think, is what it came down to.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a definite the lesser of two
The
evils.
lesser of two evils.
The worst of two weevils.
Yeah, that. Cool.
All
Well, I
righty.
suppose I do need to shut her down.
All righty.
This will be a tired pup tomorrow.
Exactly. All righty, guys.
That was fun. Got lots done.
I don't know if Palmer said something about maybe having a show next week, or maybe we just go in 2 weeks and have it on his channel. So.
That's what I wondered. I wasn't sure if he meant if we didn't want to do one this week and wait till he got back, we'd do one next week, or I wasn't sure. I assumed we would just wait 2 weeks, but I don't know. How's that work for Christmas?
Let's see. Today is the 5th, so 2 weeks would be the 19th. So
yeah, so that'd be perfect.
Yeah.
And then the next show wouldn't be until after New Year's.
Exactly.
So that's ideal. Heck.
Okay.
It's like you guys planned it. Obviously.
All righty.
All right. Matthew.
Okay,
says
so we'll be
good night.
back in a couple weeks, probably, unless Palmer wants to have one next week and really mess up.
Yeah,
this
which is
I
fine.
don't-
I'll be painting. So, I mean,
Yeah.
barring some weird thing happening, I can do it anytime. Good to
Alrighty.
see everybody and a few new faces tonight, too. So, or at least ones that I
Some
don't
new
recall.
old faces,
Some new old faces as well. And yeah, cool.
or old new faces.
There you go. And we're all just old faces. So,
Yeah.
more ways than one.
Back in my day,
Back when I was a kid. Well, I'm the
Yeah.
youngest one
Wow.
here. I'm like the young guy here. When
you're
Palmer's
what,
gone.
55?
Yeah, 55.
Oh, you're a veritable puppy.
And Palmer's
Yeah,
just
thinking
turned
that.
50, so man, he's just a kid.
yeah, that's why. I'm surprised he can stay up this late normally.
Well,
You gotta
he's
get
still got his binky, so.
So mom send him to bed or not? Yeah, that's fun though.
Alrighty, guys.
All right,
I'll
yep.
shut her down here, and we'll
Shut
see
down.
you guys.
Night, Charles.
See everybody in a couple weeks, probably.
Yeah, hopefully
Bye.
make it.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.